Welcome to a new episode of TTG Conversations 5 Questions video series. I'm Karen Yu, Group Editor of TTG Asia Media. In this episode, we will learn how business events are evolving through the eyes of Petrina Goh, and she is the Regional Commercial Director for Southeast Asia and Hong Kong at CWT Meetings and Events. Welcome to the show, Petrina.
Hi, Karen. Good to see everyone again.
I've got 5 questions for you, and here's the first. Now, we know face-to-face meetings and events are back. Have you seen any interesting changes to these face-to-face meetings and events now that they're back, the way they're designed? Are there any changes to it?
Yeah, definitely. I think COVID has kind of changed the way everybody views the importance of meetings and, what exactly is it that they want to be attending given the choice. So there's a lot more considerations for what I would call downtime or free and easy time to allow attendees to refresh their minds in between, the entire conference or event agenda. In the past, we used to kind of pack it back to back where we have keynotes in the morning, panel sessions, more keynotes and breakouts and so on. Now we're seeing a lot more influencers where there are free and easy time to allow attendees to either have the choice to network with each other or just have a bit of time to reconnect or call family back at home or to just, basically have a bit of wellness or mindfulness break. There's also a greater comfort in traveling long haul once again. I think once the borders first reopened, people were only comfortable with short haul travel, either domestically or regionally. But we're now seeing a bunch of our clients going as far as even South Africa or even across Europe or to the Americas. I think they've gone into the comfortable mindset that COVID is no longer as major a threat as it was 2.5 years ago. Although what we're also seeing is that these group sizes are smaller. And the reason for that is to ignite more intimate conversations and knowledge sharing. And content is kind of more focused and personalized as opposed to just catering to generically larger audiences.
So what could have influenced these changes, especially the one requiring more downtime?
Besides COVID, you mean? I think there is really a newfound need to connect better and to connect more meaningfully. So the pandemic brought about a lot of isolation and disconnect, right? And we were kind of being forced to connect virtually for a very long period of time. During that time, I think organizations found that connections and the return on investments on events and meetings are more meaningful when each attendee is truly participating in a two-way conversation. Because, over video calls, you kind of tend to be secretly checking your emails or looking at your phone. But when you're meeting in person, if you are participating in a two-way conversation, it is more meaningful because you are more engaged. And that also translates into the way we look at content and programming nowadays, because instead of the pure information download from just listening to speakers on stage, there is now a hyper focus on personalized and even user-generated content at events, because people want to feel like they have a control and a say in what they're signing up to attend. And then on the other hand, the pandemic also brought about a bigger spotlight on mindfulness and wellness. So where these downtimes are coming from is when we were in quarantine and borders were closed, we saw our personal and work lives intertwine for a very long period. And then we started to realize the beauty of work-life balance, and there's really no going back from that. So what that means is a new generation of workforce and planners that even before signing up for a face-to-face event, they really zoom into what is the benefit of having my presence there. What is the opportunity cost if I don't attend the event? And that means that planners need to ensure that these event programs now cater to such downtimes instead of packing the agenda, because people want to know that you have them at the center of mind when they attend. It's something that they're attending because the content is meaningful and they're going to have something to physically take back with them after attending the event itself.
Now, some planners I met at AIM in Melbourne last month, they told me that social functions within meetings and events are given more programming priority this year as, attendees actively seek out opportunities to reconnect with people, just like you said, right? So do you see the same happening with clients about the kind of social events that they have within their program?
Yeah, very much so. I was just having a chat the other day with a friend of mine, and, she said, it's really like the quote, right? When you're networking, your network is your net worth. So like I mentioned earlier, people are very invested in events with the opportunity for two-way conversations because they feel like they are being listened to, they feel like they're contributing to something, and they feel like they have a control in the information that they are receiving and the power to grow their knowledge from interacting and learning from other experts in their organization or across the industry. So organizations are keen to connect on the ground with their clients to understand how their needs have evolved and changed over time. And it's always been true that you learn much more from a casual conversation in person over coffee than over a video call. So that's really why I think social functions nowadays in meetings are given a priority.
When we spoke last year in May about the resumption of incentive travel, you and Michelle Sargent shared some very encouraging news of clients bringing back events with a big bang, right? Splurging on exclusive experiences and even involving family members. Is this still happening, or is the passion for revenge travel and meetings been tempered by cost and economic concerns?
I'm always a silver lining kind of person, so I think what we said really rang true, and I wish I was this accurate with everything in life. But this year alone, right, we're already looking at least 5 groups of our clients where their organizations have made a very conscious decision to include families and partners in the events, because they acknowledge the fact that these employees would not have been as successful through the pandemic without the support of their family network. So I think I mentioned this before in our last conversation, and it's still ringing true. So I stand by what I said, right? Where when families see their family members' contribution to their organization and it's celebrated so openly, it only serves to boost employee engagement and loyalty to the organization. And it gives them the moral support they need outside to continue working for this organization. So whilst I would say splurging on exclusive experiences has kind of been softened a little by the economic downturn, clients and planners can still find creative ways to design new experiences for attendees through soft touches instead, and more personalized, meaningful activities like giving back to the local communities that basically speak to their traveler behavior. So, for example, quizzes pre-event to find out if your attendee is a nature lover, a foodie, or an adventurer. And you can design various experiences around that appeal to that side of them. That doesn't necessarily mean spending an exorbitant amount of money on your projects.
And lastly, what would you say to event vendors looking to secure more business this year? What would they need to impress your clients and event designers?
First of all, I would say nothing that is too new. I think flexibility still remains key to decision making. But beyond that, think outside the box is an age-old adage that will really never die off. I had a colleague that reminded me that COVID was actually the best chief technology officer because he said it forced everybody to change the way they ran the business, engage clients and employees, and kind of revamp services to fit market needs. And he was absolutely right. We shouldn't wait for the next pandemic to achieve that next level of evolution, right? So I would say to our partners, share your ideas and experiences. If you're a hotel partner, don't just sell your rooms and meeting spaces. Are there other experiences that you can offer planners? Something that you've seen other organizations design and deliver? What about, unique technologies to showcase content via AV projection and so on? Just avoid conversations where ideas come only from planners like myself. Ideas can really come from anywhere and anyone. And sometimes what I find funny is that even the interns give the best ideas because they give fresh perspectives. So never be afraid of that. Yeah.
That's right. And that's all the questions I have for Petrina. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Always love talking to you, and you give such wonderful insights.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to be able to share this experience with everyone.
Past and future episodes of TTG Conversations, 5 questions can be found on the TTG YouTube channel. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Goodbye.